What is the burden of proof in a personal injury case? In the realm of personal injury lawsuits in Colorado, one must navigate the intricate landscape of the burden of proof. This requirement becomes the linchpin for substantiating the claims put forth. Within the context of a civil lawsuit, the responsibility of meeting the burden of proof falls squarely on the plaintiff or the party initiating the legal action. Whether it's you or your adept Denver injury lawyer, the onus lies in establishing the defendant's fault to secure financial compensation. If you sustained injuries in an accident in Colorado, contact the personal injury lawyers at Front Range Injury Attorneys today to schedule your free consultation. Our experienced legal team are knowledgeable and zealous advocates for our clients and their cases. We treat our clients as people, not case files. Learn more about how we can help you pursue compensation for your injuries and damages. Contact our Denver law firm to learn more. Burden of proof when negotiating a personal injury insurance claim settlement. In the prelude to a personal injury case potentially reaching the courtroom, the initial attempt at resolution often unfolds through negotiations between your legal representative and the insurance company. Notably, a majority of cases find resolution outside of the court setting. It is crucial to recognize that the burden of proof is not a prerequisite during this negotiation phase, as it is a component exclusive to the formal court proceedings. Nevertheless, it remains imperative that, even amid negotiations, your personal injury attorney approaches your case with the mindset that it may proceed to trial. This approach entails ensuring that the burden of proof is effectively addressed. The challenge lies in the fact that some attorneys may neglect this fundamental principle, thereby exposing potential vulnerabilities in the negotiation process. The burden of proof in a personal injury case, embracing the preponderance of the evidence. In the pursuit of legal recourse against a negligent individual or entity, the burden rests upon you or your legal representative to demonstrate that your claim is more likely to be true than not. This legal threshold is commonly referred to as the preponderance of the evidence, serving as the benchmark in civil cases. Distinguished from the more rigorous proof beyond a reasonable doubt standard in criminal proceedings, the preponderance of the evidence provides a more lenient burden. This standard acknowledges that the defendant's life and freedom are not in jeopardy, necessitating a demonstration that the claim is at least 51% certain, often expressed as more likely than not. When a jury concludes that the defendant is more likely than not responsible for the incident, the defendant is deemed liable and must bear the financial repercussions for the plaintiff's losses, covering medical expenses, property damage, and other damages resulting from negligence. Navigating the burden of proof, a dual challenge of production and persuasion. Effectively meeting the burden of proof in a civil lawsuit entails grappling with both the burden of production and the burden of persuasion. The former involves the obligation to furnish evidence showcasing the defendant's fault, which may include a police report, an accident report, photographic evidence, video footage, witness statements, expert witnesses, medical records. The burden of persuasion, on the other hand, requires convincing a jury that the claim holds more truth than falsehood. Once the plaintiff successfully fulfills the burden of proof, the onus shifts to the defendant, compelling them to mount a defense. This shift in the burden of proof may occur intermittently throughout legal proceedings. The importance of evidence in your case cannot be undervalued. Each plaintiff who brings a personal injury case to trial must present evidence satisfying each element of the claim and the extent of damages sustained. If the plaintiff does not meet their burdens of proof and persuasion, the injured person will lose their case. For this reason, your accident attorney will begin gathering evidence to build your case at the start of your case to give you the best opportunity to recover fair compensation at trial or during insurance company settlement negotiations. Establishing negligence, a crucial aspect of meeting the burden of proof. Central to proving negligence, a cornerstone in personal injury cases, is substantiating four critical elements by the preponderance of evidence. Duty of care. Confirming that the defendant owed you a duty of care, adhering to the applicable standard. Breach of duty. Demonstrating that the defendant violated or failed to fulfill their duty of care, acting in a manner inconsistent with a reasonable and prudent party. Causation. Establishing that the defendant's breach of duty directly led to your injury and subsequent damages. Damages. You must prove the type and extent of legally recoverable damages experienced as a result of the accident. While personal injury claims can also be founded on legal doctrines like strict liability or breach of warranty, meeting the burden of proof remains paramount. Seeking guidance from an attorney can illuminate the specific evidence required to substantiate the foundation of your claim. When do you have to prove a personal injury case by clear and convincing evidence? When a plaintiff pursues punitive damages, compensation that extends beyond economic and non-economic compensatory damages and serves the purpose of deterrence and punishment, in a personal injury case, a heightened standard of proof comes into play. The plaintiff must demonstrate their entitlement to punitive damages through clear and convincing evidence. Clear and convincing evidence denotes a substantial likelihood that the plaintiff's claim is true. Essentially, the plaintiff is required to establish that their assertion regarding the necessity of punitive damages is significantly and substantially more likely to be true than not. This standard of proof is alternatively termed as clear, convincing, and satisfactory, or clear, unequivocal, satisfactory, and convincing evidence. Clear and convincing evidence represents a more stringent standard of proof than a preponderance of the evidence, though less stringent than the beyond a reasonable doubt standard, resulting in punitive damages being granted in more restricted circumstances.